Once again, thank you, Michael and team. This is amazing to be here, to have this opportunity to be with everybody. So, sorry, I just got to get used to it. I want to speak to stiff person syndrome and the name, like the name. The name does not do this disease justice. You hear doctors talk about the medical description and definition of stiff person syndrome, and you read about it, and it talks about it being a rare neurological disease with autoimmune features, with hallmark features of muscle stiffness and painful muscle spasms. And all of that is true. So somebody approached me a few years ago, and it came up, oh, you have stiff person syndrome. And I said, yeah, I have stiff person syndrome. And I gave the medical definition of the disease. And this individual looked at me and he said, yeah, I wake up sometimes and my neck is stiff. And I was thinking, wow, people do not get this disease, and the name does not help. So I really spent some time thinking about how do we communicate this disease. I don't know if I'm being funny, but I'll just take it. Are you okay? Okay. So how do we actually get people to get it? So when people ask me, what is stiff person syndrome? Here's how I describe it. Have you ever had a Charlie horse in your calf? I'm guessing most of you probably have and can appreciate the pain that goes along with it. Now imagine having one in your whole body that literally stops you in your tracks. Your neck feels like it's in a vice. Your chest is squeezed to where you can't breathe. Your legs are like boards where you can't walk. And your spine is strained to the point your vertebrae break. That's what it's like for many who live with stiff person syndrome. People are not just stiff. So put that in your pocket. Because when I talk about it that way, and I talk to people and tell them to imagine that, they start to get it. So my story, why did I start the foundation? Like many of you, many people with rare diseases, people call it a diagnostic journey. I don't use journey. It just doesn't feel right for me. Odyssey, I don't even know if that does it justice. It's a brutal, can often be a brutal experience for people. And mine was, before stiff person syndrome, I never gave my health really a second thought. I was a dentist, enjoying life with my children. And my former husband died by suicide in October of 2014. My children were 11 and 13 at the time. And I felt this enormous amount of stress and pressure to stay alive. 2 months later, I got pneumonia. And then my health spiraled down after that. And for 2.5 years, I experienced frightening, oddball symptoms. Very confusing to me. But I knew something was seriously wrong. And I was running from doctor to doctor in crisis mode, searching for answers. I was mislabeled, dismissed, told it was anxiety. I had a primary care doctor get in my face in an appointment and say to me, I don't know why you keep going from doctor to doctor. Take this medication for anxiety and see me back in 3 months. He got mad at me. And I said, if you felt the way that I feel, you would be doing the exact same thing. And I walked out. I found another primary care doctor. 2 more, actually. And in 2017, I was unable to work. I was unable to drive. I was unable to care for myself or my children, and had to hire someone to live with us. I finally connected with the right doctors and was diagnosed with stiff person syndrome in the fall of 2017. I landed at Johns Hopkins for my treatment, and it was probably my 3rd visit at Hopkins when my neurologist told me, we recently applied for a grant for research, and we were denied the grant because there wasn't enough research to get the grant. And that just blew my mind. So I'm sitting there on the crinkly paper, that crinkly paper on the table, right? I'm sitting there like in disbelief. I'm a single mother. I can't take care of myself or my kids. There are no good treatments. There are no cure. And a world-renowned institution like Johns Hopkins can't get a grant. I was panicked. And it was that moment I knew I needed to do something. So within a few weeks, I was on the news raising awareness. And in the latter part of 2019, I founded the Stiff Person Syndrome Research Foundation with 2 main drivers. 1, to support research for better treatments and a cure, and 2, to show my children that no matter what hand you're dealt in life, you can still make a difference for people. That's what gets me out of bed every morning, and that's my purpose in life. Next slide, please. Sorry, humor.
Would you like clicking noises?
Oh, wow. So, let me see. So, why do we exist? Why does the foundation exist? We are a patient-led organization with one main purpose: to end stiff person syndrome. Our mission is to raise awareness for SPS, support research for better treatments and a cure for SPS, and strengthen our community through education and collaboration. Everything we do as an organization, every decision we make is centered around the mission, with patients at the center. Got my cheat sheets up here. Okay, because I don't have my slides. I'm just teasing, Michael. So what's our value? What makes us different? I want to highlight 3 things. 1, we have a broad global reach. The SPSRF is the only foundation supporting research worldwide for SPS. And because we are not tied to one single academic institution, we're able to work across academic boundaries and build partnerships that span the globe. 2, we drive awareness and influence policy. We help raise visibility and influence health policy by sharing patient voices and lived experience. 3, we tear down silos and bring together the best of the best. One of the biggest barriers in rare disease research is people working in isolation. As a neutral, patient-driven organization, we can lead initiatives that connect research centers and promote collaboration with researchers, clinicians, patients, and partners to move this science forward and make a real impact. So I want to highlight where we're making traction this year. So there are 5 initiatives. 1, the SPS Diagnostic Criteria Initiative. 2, the SPS Global Registry. 3, the SPS Biorepository. 4, the SPS Symposium. And 5, industry partnerships. So I know all of you are very well aware that doctors are not diagnosing this disease the same way. There is not consensus on the diagnostic criteria for SPS. And that's a big problem. Patients are taking years, oftentimes, to get an accurate diagnosis, as you all well know, misdiagnosed, and even given inappropriate treatments that harm them. We are changing that by developing the first ever evidence-based standardized diagnostic criteria for SPS and its phenotypes, so patients could get answers sooner and receive appropriate care. Just so you all are aware, we have 2 methodologists on the steering committee, as well as myself, Dr. Delakis, Dr. PK, and Dr. Newsom. So we have the right people around the table, and we're engaging international experts for this initiative. We're currently in the evidence identification and synthesis phase. In March of next year, these panel of experts will get together and set the criteria. This is the first time it's ever been done, so I'm really excited about it. So what does it mean? So for clinicians, a clear, trusted standard to diagnose SPS and guide patient care. For researchers, standardized criteria enable consistent diagnosis, better trial design, and more comparable data. And for patients, validation, knowing their suffering has a name, and that answers are possible. So next, I want to speak to the SPS Global Registry and Natural History Studies. Some of you may know about this initiative and may even be involved in the initiative or participating in the initiative. We launched the registry in July and already have over 150 people enrolled. And for those unfamiliar with what a registry is, it's a series of surveys where people answer questions about their experience with a disease like SPS. And that includes things like demographics, diagnosis, symptoms, treatments, and quality of life. So to give you an example, and this speaks to the discussion earlier with the docs up here, is the symptoms survey. When you talk about symptoms that people have that can affect their activities of daily living that are maybe not the most common symptoms, but people have them. Symptoms maybe the doctors don't always ask about, like fatigue, things like that. We have a list of symptoms in this survey, and you get to check how much it affects your daily life. And I think that's going to be a real eye-opener to docs to be able to see the data that comes in. This registry has been in development for over 2 years. We have a steering committee who advises and guides us on the registry that is comprised of SPS experts, data experts, patients, and caregivers. So we have diversified skill sets around the table to ensure the success of this initiative. And it is global. These surveys that I spoke about, filled out over time, allow researchers to study the natural history of SPS, how it progresses. And that helps design better clinical trials and accelerate research. Anyone with a confirmed diagnosis of SPS can participate, and we are currently updating our eligibility criteria to include suspected cases. And we are in the stage of getting approval for that, so stay tuned. But a lot of people, particularly people who do not have antibodies, who are in the seronegative class, are in that category of possible, probable. To join, visit our website at stiffperson.org, and you'll see a link to enroll. Next, the SPS Biorepository. So we launched this biorepository initiative this year. We are linking the survey data from the registry with biospecimens in a centralized biorepository at Combined Brain to support research. And at our symposium in July, we collected over 60 samples. The researchers are really excited about this. This can help lead to insights with potential genetic causes and biomarkers and lots of good data. Our annual symposium was just mind-blowing this year. I'd like to read a message to you all from someone who attended and share this with you because I think it sums it up. I'm still trying to find the words to summarize our experience last weekend at the Stiff Person Syndrome Research Foundation Symposium in Hartford, Connecticut, besides one word. Simply put, life-changing. To be in a room full of people who truly get it, the daily struggles, challenges, losses, to hear from the leading experts, researching, determining diagnostic criteria, but forging forward with treatment options and inching toward a cure. To hear from the experts that the random progression and odd symptoms stumping my local neurologist are all part of the disease was somehow reassuring. But the best part, discovering a whole sisterhood and brothers from all over the world to be there for each other in ways one would never expect. Strangers brought together by some random disease, now bonded for life. I'm forever grateful. It's powerful. We had this year nearly 200 people attend in person and more than 400 virtually, our largest attendance yet. That kind of growth speaks volumes. And our attendance was truly global, with attendees from over 20 countries. That kind of commitment tells us something powerful. People see value in what we're building, and they want to be a part of it. I just looked to Ellen again. She was one of, how many people came from Brazil? 3? Was it 3? 3, right? You, Carlos, and there was someone else who came from Brazil. Oh, I'm sorry. Weren't there were 3 of you from Brazil who came, right? Right? Yes. How many? Dominican? Okay. Yep. But Bettina? Yep. So Dominican, 2. Okay. Yes. Yep. Dominican from Brazil for his wife. Yes. Okay, from Brazil, yes. We gave T-shirts for the farthest traveled, so so Ellen definitely got a T-shirt. So next, I want to speak. We've talked about industry partnerships, and ethical partnerships with industry is critical. I know Michael can speak to that. And one of the most exciting milestones this year was being approached by Kyverna to help recruit patients for the first multi-center registrational clinical trial for SPS. So it's super exciting. And, you know, I just want to speak to, like, they'll get the results of the trial next year, But I think the exciting piece of this is there's attention for SPS. And I know NMSOD, did I say that right? NMOSD, I always like mix up the letters. How many FDA-approved treatments do you all have? 4? It took some time to get there, right? Yeah, I feel that too. I mean, when I was diagnosed in 2017, I just did not feel that. I didn't sense that. I didn't feel the attention. Now I do, and I think that's super exciting. Not just for this as a potential treatment, but for other treatments that might be coming down the pipeline as people do more research. So I'm really, really excited about that. And with that, I am going to actually close and say thank you so much. I really appreciate the opportunity to talk with you all. And if there are any questions, I'm happy to answer them. Oh, I think I went over time, sorry.
We are, but it's okay. We had a break, so we can just go back to the room. One thing she didn't mention, she applied for and got, through her foundation, a grant from the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative, founded by the Facebook founder, Mark Zuckerberg. How much was that grant for?
So the grant was $600,000 over 3 years, so $200,000 for each year.
Okay, and this grant is impossible to get. We applied for that grant, and we got rejected. And so it's an incredible accomplishment, and it started, it catalyzed your foundation. And this is how, in rare disease, you cure disease. She's doing everything exactly right. The biorepository, the registry, getting the experts together, working across these academic silos where Harvard doesn't necessarily play nice with Mayo Clinic, et cetera. You have to connect all those dots. You got to get patients to show up to the symposium to donate blood, because without the biosamples, they can't do the research. And it's not like diabetes where there's 100 million people globally. In rare disease, you can make the difference. If you all participate in these studies, you could be part of finding the cure or at least a better treatment. It's so important. So it's amazing what Tara's been doing. We're watching from afar. We're trying to help however we can. We're a little bit further down the curve, but I can tell you, we go to the global conferences. There's 10,000 neurologists there. They're all working on research. Dozens of posters on stiff person syndrome. I go down these poster halls. There's thousands of posters, dozens on each one of these rare diseases. There are people that you don't even know working behind the scenes in the labs late at night, on the weekends at Harvard, MIT, everywhere else, working on your disease. So you just need someone like Tara to help push things even further and faster. So it's just amazing. So thank you, Tara, for your presentation, for all the hard work you do.
Thank you, Michael.
And thank you all. And I think